King TV, Channel 5, is an NBC-affiliated television station located in Seattle, Washington, United States. The station is owned by Tenor, Incorporated, as part of a duopoly with independent station Kong. The two stations share offices and studios located on Dexter Avenue in the city's Denny Regrade district, and King TV's transmitter is located in the Queen Anne neighborhood of Seattle. King TV is one of 5 Seattle television stations that are available in Canada on satellite providers Bell TV and Shaw Direct. The station is also carried on several cable providers in southeastern Alaska and northwestern Oregon. History: Channel 5 first took to the air as KRSC-TV on November 25, 1948, becoming the first television station in the Pacific Northwest. The station was originally owned by Palmer K. Leberman's Radio Sales Corporation, which also operated KRSC Radio. The first broadcast on Channel 5 was a live remote of a Thanksgiving Day high school football game. The telecast was plagued with technical difficulties, but local viewers reported being impressed nonetheless. Channel 5 was originally a primary CBS affiliate, and carried secondary affiliations with NBC, ABC and Dumont. 8 months after the television station debuted, KRSC-TV and KRSC-FM were purchased by King Broadcasting Company, owners of King Radio and the original King FM, for $375,000 in May 1949. The station changed its call sign to King TV to match its radio sisters. For many years, the station's logo was King Mike, an anthropomorphized microphone in ermine robes and a crown, drawn by cartoonist Walt Disney. Once the Federal Communications Commission imposed freeze on television station license awards ended in 1952, King TV lost its monopoly in the market. During 1953, the Seattle-Tacoma area received 3 new stations. KTNT-TV debuted in March as the market's CBS outlet, while NBC went to KMO-TV, which signed on in August. NBC moved a few months later to KOMO-TV, which went on the air in December. By the end of the year, King TV was left with poor-performing ABC and Dumont, the latter of which ceased operations in 1956. Subsequently, Bullitt lobbied NBC for a group affiliation for her stations, and in October 1958, King TV and KGW-TV in Portland began carrying NBC programming. In Seattle, Channel 5 shared NBC and ABC with KOMO-TV for most of the 1958-59 television season. On September 27, 1959, King TV became a primary NBC station and KOMO-TV affiliated with ABC full-time. Dissatisfied with Stimson Bullitt's management style, Dorothy Bullitt, and Mr. Bullitt's sisters, arranged for his voluntary resignation from King Broadcasting in 1972. Stimson sold his company shares to his sisters, Harriet and Patsy. He then received control of the family's real estate interests. Ansel Payne, who had served as general manager of the company's Portland stations since 1965, became president and CEO. By the 1970s and 1980s, King TV was the flagship of a growing regional media empire which at various times included ventures in publishing, the film industry, cable television systems and even various timber assets in the Far East. Locally produced programs that debuted on the station during the 1970s and 1980s included Seattle Today, a mid-morning talk show hosted by Cliff Lenz and Shirley Hudson and later by Susan Michaels and Colby Chester. Seattle Tonight, hosted by Ross McGowan and later Dick Klinger. Almost Live, a Saturday night talk and sketch comedy program originally starring Ross Shaffer. And a local evening magazine franchise, first hosted by Penny Leggett and Brian Tracy. Of these, only Evening Magazine exists today. How Come? A half-hour early Sunday evening family television program hosted by Al Wallace, won several awards during its run during the 1970s and early 1980s. The show covered topics on how things were made or done in the world. Dick Klinger hosted the show after Al Wallace died. King Broadcasting's stations included KGW Radio and Television in Portland, KREM-TV in Spokane, KTVB-TV in Boise, KHNL-TV and KFVE-TV in Honolulu and KYAKOIT Radio in San Francisco. Longtime station owner Dorothy Bullitt died in June 1989. Dorothy Bullitt's daughters Harriet Bullitt and Priscilla Patsy Bullitt Collins decided to sell the King assets in 1992, eventually selling King Broadcasting to the Providence Journal Company. King TV and other King broadcasting stations later became below properties as a result of that company's merger with the Providence Journal Company in 1997. Bonneville International Corporation purchased King AM in 1994. The 1990s saw the end of Almost Live. During this decade, the show launched the career of Bill Nye the Science Guy, Joel McHale and locally, Pat Cashman and John Keister. King TV was also the home for Watch This, a fast-paced Emmy Award-winning show aimed at children and teenagers. The show lasted 5 years and was hosted by local anchors, Jim Davea and Mimi Gann. On December 18, 1995, King Broadcasting launched Northwest Cable News, a 24-hour regional cable news channel available primarily to cable providers in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, with lesser cable coverage in Alaska, Montana and California. On June 13, 2013, the Gannett Company announced that it would acquire Below. The sale was completed on December 23. In April 2014, King announced plans to sell its current South Lake Union headquarters and relocate, taking advantage of a booming real estate markets in the South Union Lake area. In September 2014, it was reported that Gannett was planning to lease multiple floors at the Home Plate Center, a complex across the street from Safeco Field in the SoDo area of Seattle. On June 29, 2015, the Gannett Company split in two, with one side specializing in print media and the other side specializing in broadcast and digital media. King and Kong were retained by the latter company, named TEGNA. Digital television digital channels the station's digital signal is multiplexed. On December 6, 2011, Below signed an agreement with the Live Well Network to affiliate with digital sub-channels of King TV in Spokane's sister station KSKN. Live Well Network replaced Universal Sports on digital sub-channel 5.2 on January 1, 2012, as Universal Sports transitioned into a cable and satellite channel during the first quarter of 2012. Justice Network replaced Live Well Network on 5.2 in January 2015. Analog to digital conversion King TV discontinued its regular program over analog, on June 12, 2009, as part of the federally mandated transition from analog to digital television. As the analog nightlight station for the Seattle-Tacoma market, it aired a loop reminding viewers to get a digital converter box on analog channel 5 until June 26, 2009. The station's digital signal remained on its pre-transition UHF channel 48, using PSIP to display King TV's virtual channel as 5 on digital television receivers. Programming: as of September 2014, King broadcasts only 2 syndicated programs during its weekday schedule, Dr. Phil and The Ellen DeGeneres Show. This, as part of the station's reliance on NBC's daytime programming and the station's newscast and local programming, makes King one of several stations in the U.S. to share a similar strategy. Other stations relying on this strategy include WTMJ in Milwaukee, WFAV in Green Bay, KSNV and KTNV in Las Vegas, and KPNX in Phoenix. Despite this, King was airing 3.5 hours of syndicated programming prior to September 2013, consisting of the 2 aforementioned programs at the beginning, as well as Katie and Inside Edition. However, Katie was cancelled by the end of the 2013 to 2014 TV season and Inside Edition moved to Kong, as newscasts were used to replace the void. Sports programming King opted not to carry NBC's telecasts of the 2006, 2007 and 2008 Stanley Cup Finals, and 2013, when the games began at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, choosing to instead air its regular lineup of local newscasts and syndicated shows. Kong picked up the NBC telecasts of the games, and CBC Television's broadcasts of the games were available to most cable providers in the region through the network's Vancouver-owned and operated station CBUT. For the 2007 and 2008 Stanley Cup Finals, however, King aired NBC's Saturday night telecasts of the Stanley Cup Final, while Kong aired the other NBC Stanley Cup Final telecasts. As for the 2009 Stanley Cup Finals, King aired Games 1, 2 and 5 while Kong aired Games 6 and 7. King was the official broadcast home of Seattle Seahawks preseason games, with the exception of those shown on national television, from 1981 to 2000 and again from 2005 to 2011. The station also airs Seahawks through NBC's broadcast contract with the NFL. Both King and Kong served as official television broadcasters of the city's Major League Soccer club Seattle Sounders FC from 2009 to 2013, in which Kong aired a weekly magazine program on Sunday nights during the season called Sounders FC Weekly, and was rebroadcast Mondays on sister cable channel Northwest Cable News. News operation. In 1999, to compete against KOMO, King began broadcasting its newscasts in high definition. At the time it only had one studio camera that was HD capable. In April 2007, King upgraded all of its studio cameras, graphics and weather system to high definition, and began broadcasting its public affairs programming in the format as well. Field reports continue to be broadcast in standard definition but are taped in a 16:9 aspect ratio, giving the appearance of high definition. According to King, it is Seattle's first HD newscast. Following its sale to the company, King adopted Gannett's standardized news presentation on June 18, 2014, which included new on-air graphics and the This Is Home music used by its new sister stations. The station's new graphics incorporate a cleaner visual appearance, and color coding for stories using the same colors used by Gannett's national newspaper USA Today. Notable current on-air staff Dennis Bounds, weeknight evenings news anchor, Grant Goodiff, Northwest Backroads host, Margaret Larson, New Day Northwest host, Alex Rosier, reporter. Notable former on-air staff Aaron Brown, evening co-anchor, Jim Compton, host of The Compton Report, Lou Dobbs, anchor, Joe Fryer general assignment special projects reporter, Jack Hammond reporter, David Curley, Mark Mullen, morning noon co-anchor, Shannon O'Donnell, weather anchor, Greg Palmer, reporter, Don Pohl. References, specific citations. General references. External links, King 5 website, query the FCC's TV station database for King TV, query TV Fools coverage map for King, BIAFN's media web database, information on King TV, essay on Dorothy Bullitt from History Link.